Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 354 of the Hoots Podcast on this Thursday, March 30th, 2023. Rise and shine, everybody. We're recording this early on Thursday morning here in the lovely city of Chicago, Illinois, and also simulcast in the state of Colorado, as well as I'm joined by the Director of Operations, aka Dr. Royalty himself, Brother Carter.
Thank you. Good morning. The doctor is in the house, just not a doctor of anything that can be useful in any way, shape, or form. But I'm certainly glad to see you all. Glad to be back live and in living color. Baby, you know it's WrestleMania weekend. You know that I wasn't going to miss the WrestleMania weekend preview show, the best wrestling weekend of the year, the biggest wrestling weekend of the year, despite what Tony Khan and his cronies over at AEW say. This is the big wrestling weekend. WWE is the big wrestling show. Can't wait to be with you, Josh. Glad to be back. Going to be a good, really fun day.
Yeah, we're in good spirits here on the podcast at Hoots Universe. Thankful for each and every single one of you. Check out the pod each and every single week, whether it's video or audio or via satellite in Brother Car cases sometimes. But we appreciate the support. We drop a new episode for you each and every single Thursday, anywhere you get your podcast from. Hit us up on Google Play. What? Spotify. What? Stitcher. What? Oh, just type in the Hoots Podcast and it'll come to you free of charge, pal. We're not on Patreon. Though, if you want to maybe consider that down the road, maybe that's an idea we can run. Who knows? We're open to suggestions, if you will.
Absolutely.
You see the title of the screen of this week's episode. We asked for one favor only. Not only besides the traditional plugs we have about subscribing and all that fun stuff, but let us know what's on your mind heading into this weekend for WrestleMania. Comment down below. That's DAHN, Don, below. And let us know who are you going with for WrestleMania this week. You can put up your own match lineups for both nights of WrestleMania if that's what you want to do. Or you can just go, boom, 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 boom. We're going to make our predictions a little bit. Boy, it's amazing. Even in the biggest week of the year, this is like Christmas for professional wrestling fans, right? This is the biggest week of the year, and somehow, some way, AEW is trying its best to bring down the mood and the vibes of this weekend. There was a particular article that was published by a a very popular website with a local brand attached to it. And we're going to be skimming through that article a little bit in our main event segment today, which should be very, very interesting. Or as Barney Stinson would say, legendary.
Wait for it.
Yes.
I hope you're not lactose intolerant because the second word of that phrase is dairy. Oh!
Yes. By the way, shout out to Neil Patrick Harris. I did get to see his cameo in How I Met Your Father the other day. He made his return. So that was very, very fun to see. All the fun stuff and shenanigans aside, we got some business to handle, and that's what we're going to do right now. Let's kick this off with the Back Porch Q&A session. As always, if you want to participate in the Back Porch Q&A session, all you have to do is hit us up at Twitter at the Hoots Podcast, which you can follow me there at the Hoots Podcast, and or the Hoots Podcast at gmail.com, whatever floats your boat. Let's start off with the good brother Chris Zaletta at Twitter at XTeamZaletta24. Throw up those Des Bryant up there. Those X up. It's funny, I say throw up the X, and like Zaletta is like a freaking Patriots fan. Man, Patriots fans suck.
Hey, at least he's not a Packers fan.
Yeah, it can be worse. Yeah, I totally understand it. Or you could be a New York Knicks fan, but that's another story for here and there.
Hey,
all right, here we go.
Hey, Josh, they're going to be running the basketball show again in New York pretty soon because the Brooklyn Nets have basically imploded.
New York basketball sucks. Let's keep it 100.
Well, that's true.
All right, so here's Chris's first question. How many title changes do we see this weekend? Oh, man, it's right off the bat, tough question. I mean, think about it. There's 3 shows. Collectively, there's probably like 15 title matches. We're gonna go over the cards for both shows, but just off the top of my head, from what I'm observing, there's at least 15 or 16 title matches. Hey, this is the weekend where titles change. This is where it happens. So, if we had to set an over and under, I'm gonna go with an over of 6 and an under of 5. So 6 to 5 titles collectively the weekend. Yeah.
5.5 is your line.
Yes, that would be my line. Yes, for sure.
You're running line 5.5. Wow. Okay. All right. I'm gonna take. Ooh. All right. Does that include NXT as well?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Then I'm hitting the over hard on that. I'm hitting the over hard on that for sure.
The max I'll go is like 7, but
7 or 8. Yeah. Because
yeah.
Well, you got to think. Well, we'll get into it when we get into our predictions a little bit later on.
Right. Here's the second question: Sonya and Chelsea or Carmella and Chelsea? It cancels each other out, not in the bad way. I've been really enjoying the stuff that Chelsea Green's been doing on the TV. I always talk about maximizing your TV time. She's killing it with the Karen stuff. Like it cracks me up. Her facial expressions, her rapport with Adam Pearce is very good. So I don't know what happened with Carmella. I thought those were the two that were going to be in that women's tag match. That's not the case now. It's Sonya. So it's fine. I mean, Sonya deserved a chance to be on WrestleMania this year. So I don't have a preference either way. What about you?
You could, if you even wanted to, you could do like a little mini stable with them, like a stable that actually makes sense. Not a thrown together stable like they have over on the other show. But, you know, like a little...
The 21 factions?
Like so, like, if you, well, it wouldn't, like, if you wanted to have the three of them, not really be a faction, but just, like, be friends or whatever. Yeah. I think, and, like, if they have this agreement that they wouldn't attack each other, that'd be fine. Because, like, Sonya and Chelsea worked well together. I like their stuff on SmackDown this week. And, yeah, I mean, Carmella and Chelsea are a natural pairing, too, with their fits and with their looks and with everything that they're doing together. So I think that'd be fine. The two of them together or all three of them together or any combination of the three, I think would be fine. I like it.
All right, that leads door to the next question here. Thoughts on the new David Finlay? Really quick, I haven't really been catching up with New Japan due to the fact that I'm out of a job right now, so I haven't been really required to partake in those ventures. I have seen some Twitter clips here and there, but from what I've seen, it looks like Jay White went on the bender. I don't know why New Japan decided to have a carbon ripoff of Jay White with David Finlay, but more power to him, I guess. That's the best way I can explain it. It's really, it really looks like if Jay White went on the blender, Brother Carter. If you see David Finlay and his new haircut and stuff, it's bad.
I think I remember seeing clips of this and being like, okay, dude, cool, but whatever.
Right.
Where do you think Jay White's going to end up?
Well, I'm kind of glad he did not show up last night because I had it in the back of my head if that was going to be the first feud for Adam Cole. But we know the reality. Jay White would be lost in the shuffle if he went to AEW. So I think it's going to be WWE.
That'd be great. Believe it. I can see him coming up either probably night after Mania, I would think.
Speaking of free agents and stuff like that, here's the next question. Is FTR done with AEW after next week? Brother Carter, the floor is yours.
God, I hope so. God, I hope so. It's FTR is just, again, how many times have we said on the show and just kind of generally, it's generally understood amongst the wrestling community that FTR is one of the best teams in the world. You could make an argument that they are the best tag team in the world, even over the Usos. You could make an argument for that. But
yeah,
what have they done on AEW television recently? They've been, what feud have they had that's been, holy cow, FTR, that's amazing. The last great feud they had was with the Briscoes, rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. And that was an ROH. That had nothing to do with AEW. So, and now there's a new regime in WWE. They would be used properly in WWE. So, to me, it's a no-brainer to go back to WWE and be the revival. Or you know what? I bet even Triple H would be okay with them being FTR and not being the revival. Like they can go back and just have this new persona. So I hope so. I hope that they are not re-signing with AEW, but at the same time, with the amount of money that they'll probably be paid in AEW, it'd be hard to turn down. kind of the old WCW theory, not have to work very hard and get paid a lot. Kind of seems like a good deal. Kind of seems like a good deal to me, you know. Like I wouldn't blame him for staying with AEW, but I hope that they go back to WWE. But that's me. What do you think?
I guess we all could admit now that AEW being the home of tag team wrestling was nothing but a bill of goods. I mean, if we're being honest, if you look at the state of the tag team division in AEW, look no further than the Carnival segment we saw last night with the Acclaim and Daddy Douchebag Magic Bernard and Angelo. I think I'm Ray Liotta, but I'm not Parker.
That was embarrassing, brutal. Josh. That was embarrassing.
Bad. It was bad. And I like the Acclaim, which is the worst part.
That's what I put down in my notes too. And we'll talk about that in our segment. But like this is one of the hottest teams, the hottest acts in pro wrestling right now. They're amazing. And this is what Tony Khan, the Booker of the Year, has them doing now.
The Booker of the Year. Oh, God. Let's continue on here. What do you have to say about people who have turned their back on Bray Wyatt already? You can just insert the Daniel Bryan gif of Fickle. I mean, it's really nothing new to really discuss or harp on. It is what it is. I mean, like, sure, could have been things that have been done better since he's made his return. Sure. I think Bray Wyatt is a victim of ADD culture in viewing of entertainment, to be honest with you. He falls into that fickle universe where people want long-term storytelling and long-term arcs of their characters, but they don't want things to play out. I remember it like it was yesterday, people like rushing to figure out who Uncle Howdy was. Okay, let's say we did the first couple of vignettes of Uncle Howdy and then he just popped up at the Royal Rumble and we found out it was Bo Dallas, right? What's the reaction there? Where do we go from there? How do we let that play out? Oh, then you rush into a brother versus brother match at WrestleMania with a month and a half build to it? Like, think about it. There's consequences when you want to rush things just because we need, with wrestling fans these days, they need to know the booking reasons behind every feud on one episode of Raw or SmackDown following the next pay-per-view. What's the point of having episodic television if you're knowing the reason behind why a feud's happening or a match is happening at the pay-per-view? That's why I always say when people lose their mind over somebody losing the match on Raw and SmackDown, no, they're not buried because they lost a match that's nothing more than a plot point to the story that they're telling. I'm not going to come here and say that everything Bray Wyatt's done since he's came back has been great, because it hasn't. But let's be honest, Bray Wyatt is a victim of ADD culture, and I get it. It's a disease. People have short attention spans. It is what it is, but it's the truth. Look at social media. That's all the evidence I need.
I mean, imagine if they had rushed the Bloodline feud, Josh. Imagine.
Exactly. Right.
And we think it's the greatest thing that's been happening over the last 6 months in sports entertainment. And we can't wait to see what's next because they haven't rushed it. But oh my God, we have to know what's happening now every single day.
Right. Thoughts on the Josh Alexander news? Yeah, very sad to see that the other day. Torn tricep, I think. Very unfortunate. I hope he's in good spirits and we can see Josh come back soon. Very talented wrestler and one of the few guys I enjoy transcribing, if you will, from Impact Wrestling. So I hate to see the fact when you have like a world champion like that to having to go run and having to relinquish their title in that fashion. It sucks, but Josh is a tremendous wrestler, and I'm not putting him over only because he has my first name. So I just want to throw that out there too. But good question. Thoughts on this new character of Ali's? I can't figure out. I think he's trying to play a snarky dirt sheet troll. I don't. I guess his gist of it is the fact that he has accepted the fact that he's a I'm not gonna call him a jobber, but an enhancement talent. So instead of bitching on Twitter, he's taking everything with a positive, sarcastic approach, if you will. You kind of notice that how he carries himself, even with the weird looking hat that he walks around with these days. He's getting TV time. That's my outside of that, he's You should be thankful that he's not in catering. That would be my answer to that question. So,
what do we always say, Josh? We always say maximize your TV time. So this is the gimmick they've given you, and you're gonna try to run with it. And but again, oh my God, he should go to AEW. Yeah, think how he would be used in AEW. He'd be on TV once every 6 weeks and be like, "Why aren't we seeing more of Mustafa Ali on AEW television?"
Yeah, we'll have a new faction: Top Flight, Action Andretti, and Mustafa Ali. There you go. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, the reason they don't have that there is so they can give Pockets more TV time. But we'll get into that here in a little bit.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. Jeez. Let's go to the next question here. He says, who do we see return / debut on Raw after WrestleMania? Great question there. I'm going to go with Cameron Grimes, man.
Interesting.
Good old boy from the South. I'm going to add in Jay White as well. And how about this one? Christian.
Wow. Do you think he's back full time or just a one-time appearance?
Part-time, like Edge.
So you think he's getting out of his AEW contract?
What else is there for him to do? He's not going to become the champion.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Money. That's it.
Make that money.
Can make the same amount of money as he is over there.
I will say though, out of his 2 songs, I think I've told you this before though. I do like his AEW / TNA song a lot better than I do his WWE song. If there was a way he could have his AEW song in WWE, that would be awesome. Maybe maybe have the Christian Cage character and not just be Christian. But either way, get him away from, Jungle Boy and Stunted Growth and Dino Douche and.
Shout out to MJF last night. Thanks.
That was great. That was great.
Thanks for checking out the pod, Max. I appreciate it. Dino douche. I love that. All right, let's go to the next one. Which matches are you looking forward to the most this weekend between Supercard of Honor, the Multiverse, Stand and Deliver, and both nights of WrestleMania? Well, Chris, you'll have to stay tuned for that because we'll talk about that once we get to it. Yes, sir. Let's get to the last question here for Chris. He says, thoughts on the Wyatt Lashley program being scrapped? Well, don't believe everything you read on the dirt sheets. Hey, WWE didn't say it.
Right. Who's to say that Lashley won't come out after losing the Battle Royal on SmackDown and being like, I want some competition, and then either Wyatt comes out or Jay White or whoever.
Right. Well, here's the thing, Len. In pro wrestling, the card is subject to change. Just because what you see on TV doesn't mean that's what you're going to get as the weeks of the program continues. But thank you, Chris, for the questions this week. I appreciate you, brother, as always. Let's transition to our good brother, Sam Piopo at Second City. Sam, what's going on, Oos? Thanks for the questions this week. He says, starting off here first, so I'm thinking NXT just isn't for me. I want to enjoy it, but I just don't. What is the biggest change from the glory days to now, in your opinion? And what is your interest level for Stand and Deliver? I'll take this one first because I watch NXT more, so I could add some more context. It's broken my heart, used to say. Like what you like. If it's not for you, and you're not enjoying it for what they're presenting, cool, I'm fine with that. I just wish for people don't watch today's NXT with the prism of black and gold, because I think that's unfair to the talents that are down there right now. And honestly, the black and gold stigma, the presentation was going to run its course. The black and gold in NXT was a knockoff of Ring of Honor. Let's just be honest about it, okay? I enjoy black and gold just as much as anybody. Hell, me and Brother Carter went to the greatest NXT takeover of all time in New Orleans. I got to go to the takeover in Chicago where Tommaso Ciampa turned on Johnny Gargano. The Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate Classic, the NXT UK Championship. The difference right now is that they're emphasizing the stuff they should have been emphasizing back then, and it's character development. And you're still getting barn burners. You got your Ilya Dragunov. Like, there's a 5-way match this weekend for Stand Deliver for the North American Championship. That's black and gold written all over. We're going to get to it when we make predictions. Like, there's still barn burners on this show. There's good characters. You have your Tony D'Angelo's. You got Carmella Hayes. You got Wesley. You got Braun Breaker. You got Tiffany Stratton, who I think is going to be a superstar once she goes up to Raw or SmackDown. Roxanne Perez. Gigi Dolan's making a name for herself since she split off from Toxic Attraction. Yeah, you got your wacko characters here and there, but look, again, it's just my opinion. I know. Look at today's NXT with the prism of black and gold. The reason people shout at NXT today is because Vince took it over, and then they scrapped it and they changed the colors. A lot of the elements that are in NXT black and gold are still there in today's NXT. You have to take the time to invest it and see it for yourself. And if that's not the case and you can't fit that in your schedule, that's cool too. But don't watch NXT today and it's not black and gold, so it fucking sucks and it's not worth my time. I don't think that's cool. But what's your thoughts?
Two other names that are awesome down there, Josh, which is Gigi Dolan's partner in crime, JC Jane, and of course Cora Jade. Cora Jade is tremendous, and I can't wait to see what she's going to do on the main roster eventually. But so there's a lot of great talent in NXT. It's a different time now, and that's okay.
Next question. Who's your unsung hero of WWE television over the last year? Oh, this is an easy question. Dominic Mysterio, ex-con Dom.
Yeah, 100%. He's tremendous.
Oh my God, that guy's hilarious.
I love it. God, he's so good. He's so good. Yes.
They kicked me out of the group chat. Family group chat. You got me a BMW. I can't wait for that match. That's gonna be awesome.
That's gonna be great.
People are gonna be so pissed when he wins and does the roll up finish. Oh my God, it's gonna be gold. What about you, Burger?
He may get more natural heel heat than anybody in the company. Like
the industry.
No kidding. He's great. Oh man, that's a good choice. Unsung hero. Wow. As we're talking about stuff, it'll come to me. The first one that I thought, of course, was Dominic Mysterio, because God, he's tremendous. I'm gonna keep thinking about this, but as we're talking, a name will come to me.
Would it be blasphemous if I said Charlotte Flair was underrated?
No.
I probably lose some Twitter followers. That's okay.
We keep it 100 here on the podcast at Hoots, Josh.
That is correct for sure.
We don't pander to people that say that, Charlotte was pushed to the moon and their internet darling, who is no longer employed with the company, is the greatest female superstar of all time. We don't pander to that. We give our opinion.
Yeah, you mean the CEO, the standard? Not even her can make New Japan relevant at this point. Ooh, how about that? See, funny how that works out, right?
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Let's see. Let me see if I can throw out some names and see if that one would be your pick. Sure. Otis.
Oh, here I've got one, Josh. No. I've got one for you.
Okay.
L.A. Knight. Yeah. There's my guy. That's gonna be my pick. Is L.A. Knight. He's tremendous.
That is a very good pick. Also, my unsung pick would be Kathy Kelly, but that's for wonderful reasons. All right, let's go to the next question. What do you want to see from?
I'm gonna give you one more, Josh. I'm gonna give you one more.
Go ahead.
Hing General Gunta. I think he's vastly underrated. I mean, we all know who good he is, but we really don't understand how good he is.
He's the man. Gunther's the ring general for a reason.
The ring general.
What do you want to see from Randy Orton, assuming he's coming back at some point? Good question.
For me, I hope they finally, even if it's a one-off match, a match with Riddle, because I don't know what's happening with Matt Riddle, if he's done with the company, if he's hurt, I don't know. I hope we'll get a payoff feud with him and Riddle one time. But I'd also be okay if Orton, became a more just kind of on an as needed basis, like John Cena, part timer like John Cena. I think he's earned that right. So that's just me.
There's a lot of things you do. You could rekindle him and Seth Rollins. They haven't had a feud in a long time. You got Cody Rhodes that's on the table with their history together.
That'd be great.
Go across the roster. Hell, even if let's say you have a one-off with Randy and Roman for just for the hell of it, that'd be cool. I mean, if you really think about it, Randy and Roman really never had a rivalry. They had the one match at that SummerSlam 2014. I remember it was an underrated match from that show. But if you really think about it in history, those two really never had like a long-term feud with each other. So that's out there.
I think they had something during the pandemic, but didn't they?
Right.
But that was, I mean, that's not really.
No, I mean, Randy has like interacted with Roman with the whole bloodline with the Rated RK Bro were in that, but they never had like a one-on-one feud.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
Braun Breaker, Jay White. I can't say Edge because we did that already, but there's options. There's stuff you can do with Randy Orton when he comes back. I'm excited for him to come back because I've missed seeing some RKOs, some well-timed RKOs, pal.
Out of nowhere. Hey, there could be an opponent for Bobby Lashley.
That's not bad.
Orton comes out of the crowd, hits the RKO out of nowhere. Place would go. The place is going bananas. They would go if Orton came out of the crowd and hit Lashley with an RKO, the crowd would lose their mind.
By the way, here's a few for you. Randy Orton as a heel against Sami Zayn. How about that?
Oh, that'd be great.
Next one. Final predictions for each Chicago baseball team as the season kicks off. Great question. Well, I think both the Cubs and White Sox will be in second place of their respective divisions. However, call me a homer, but I think my boys right here, my boys here will have the better record than the White Sox, and that they'll have the better record than the Cubs, and that's a hashtag shot.
Wow! All right.
Not no shot, but shot. And by the way, the Cardinals unfortunately will win the NL Central. I can't stand the Cardinals, and I'm not even a Cubs fan. How about this one? He says, I have zero interest in Brock and Omos. Do you think Brock is into this feud, or are we going to get another Dean Ambrose WrestleMania debacle? Well, I said this on the pod last week. This is your Johnny Knoxville, Sami Zayn match of this year's WrestleMania, where everybody's shitting on it going into it, and people are going to be marking out when Brock tosses Omos around the ringside area like yesterday's trash. It's a spectacle. This is not supposed to be a 5-star classic, or as Biggie would say, big meaty man bumping meat. This is gonna be a car crash, and that's what it should be. So, I'm interested to see Brock just toss Omos around like I said, yesterday's trash. So, what do you think?
Well, I tweeted this out in the Wrestling Rumors account. Because I had a chance to watch Raw, and I was like, initially looking at this on paper, this makes no sense, and this is going to be a disaster. But it's going to end up being awesome because Brock Lesnar knows how to take chicken shit and turn it into chicken salad. So I think this could be awesome. But you're right. This is a spectacle. This is not the, like you said, this isn't the
30-minute classics.
This isn't going to be a catch-as-catch-can wrestling match. This is going to be, like you said, a spectacle.
Yeah, it's not Bockwinkel and Kurt Hennig from the AWA or stuff like that.
Correct.
Flair Steamboat. Next one is LA Knight. Yeah. World Championship material. If there's 2 World Championships, yes. If not, no. But that's just maybe.
Correct. Yep. I could see him going for a mid-card title this year, though.
Oh, absolutely. I could see that.
Him versus Austin Theory could be fun, or him versus, whoever. That could be fun.
LA Knight and Sheamus. LA Knight
and
McIntyre.
Yeah. Because, maybe. We'll see.
It's funny. You look at what LA Knight done and what EC3 hasn't done, where he goes and bitches and does shows with Vince Russo, feeling sorry for himself. LA Knight actually did the work and let his work speak for himself. Funny how that works, right? Oh, Sam, why do you have to do this to us? Like, I thought you loved me, man. I thought we were brothers. Why are you doing this to us? Let's listen to this question, okay?
Okay.
You have to keep one on your roster: Nia Jax, Dan Clonson, or Pockets.
Oh, that's easy. Pockets. Because Pockets can at least wrestle. Pockets at least has some sort of redeeming qualities as a performer. He actually,
oh my god,
is somewhat decent in the ring. His gimmick sucks, but he can actually move a little bit. The other two are worthless in every way, shape, or form. That one's easy. That's Pockets all day.
I can't believe you just said that. That right there is the ESPN Get Up take if I ever heard one. Really, Pockets?
Okay, who would you take?
I'll take Nia Jax.
What? Why? She's not safe. She will destroy anybody she works with. All you got to do with Pockets is change his gimmick, and he has potential.
Well, here's the difference. Are we in the business of suspending our disbelief, or are we in the business of fucking carnival douchebags that don't know what they're doing and make all their opponents look like fucking Jaguars and Nimrods?
That's why you say you take him, you repackage him, you get him with somebody that knows what he's doing.
I can't take him seriously. I don't care how many freaking insecurities, hurricanranas he does in the match. I can't take him seriously with the stupid ass leg kicks. At least I could buy into Nia Jax's stuff. Yeah, I know she's gonna injure somebody, but it looks real.
But that's why I said you change the gimmick. You take Pockets, you change his gimmick. It'd be fine.
Can't change him. He sucks. He's an outlaw mud show freak. That's what he is. He belongs in GCW. That's where he belongs.
We'll talk about this in a little. No. We're gonna keep going with this right now.
All right.
No.
Okay.
Orange Cassidy's gimmick is terrible. It ran its course for about 2 weeks, and I was like, okay, I'm bored with this already. And it doesn't change because he is the company mascot, no doubt about it. But if you look at him move in the ring, he actually moves pretty well in the ring when he's not doing his.
He moves around just like every other. He moves just around just like every generic person you can see on Dark and Elevation. They all have the same moveset. There's nothing special to him.
That's why you take that and you change the gimmicks around a little bit. At least with him, you know what you're getting. With Danhausen, you have he's worthless. Let's be real. Danhausen is worthless. And Nia Jax is going to destroy your whole roster. And her promos are So, like, if you take Pockets, change his gimmick up, get him with somebody who knows what they're doing, you could potentially salvage him. You can't salvage the other two. It's the best of the worst. Of the three, he's the only one that's worth trying to save. That's the only reason I picked him.
You know what, Brother Carter? At first I thought you were Max Kellerman, but you're actually Derek Orlovsky. That's that take is brutal. Oh no, not yet. Not yet.
We'll have several blank pages left here on the list, Josh. I'm just saying. You're already on the list of Jericho.
I know.
You didn't know that August 7th was not the end of the month.
Hey, I'm Rican. I have my dyslexic moments. Let's go to the next one here before I get on the list again. I love this show. Do you think Stacy Keibler belongs in the Hall? Yes, I do. From a popularity standpoint, I get it if you want to go technical wrestling terms and stuff, but she was a draw. She was a star. So, I think she deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
I went back and forth on that for a little bit, to be quite honest with you. I said, I don't know. But she gave us the creation of the greatest Vince McMahon gif of all time. So,
yeah, that's true.
So there you go.
I was watching WrestleMania 18 a couple weeks ago. It's just like sports I wanted to put on. To see her doing the entrance with the Dudley Boys, that was pretty cool. Let's see. Next one. Top 3 Mania memories of your lifetime. Great question. there's one I want to pick, but I can't because it's controversial and I'll get canceled for it. So I just not gonna go down that rabbit hole. I think you probably know where I'm going there. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
It's fortunate because it's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. But again, we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole. Yep. My top three: Taker, streak coming to an end.
Yep.
Not even close for me. The second one was seeing Seth Rollins cash in person was crazy.
Those are my top two as well. Yeah.
And then the third one, I can't say Cody's return. It was great. Don't get me wrong. It was a cool moment, but I gotta say for me, it was probably Edge spearing Mick Foley through a flaming table. Okay. I know it's not business-wise memories, but those are the ones that stand out the most to me from stuff I've seen. But go ahead, Brooke. What's yours?
My top two are the same as yours. Taker, retirement. Seth Rollins cashing in. My third is when Shawn Michaels said, "I'm sorry, I love you," and retired Ric Flair. That was a pretty special moment for everybody there. So that'd be my top three.
By the way, I find it interesting that Nick Khan is going to be on First Take today. I guess he's revealing the match lineups for both nights of WrestleMania. First Take. That's pretty cool. Nice exposure there for First Take. All right. Last question here for Sam. He says, I know you've been going through a tough time, but I just wanted to take some time in my last question to tell you to keep pushing. Everything happens for a reason, and nothing's going to hold your work down. It speaks for itself. All love, brother. Happy Mania Week to you and Brother Carter. Well, Sam, thank you, brother. It really means a lot for you to say that. It really does. I'm not gonna lie, man. This weekend it's gonna suck for me from a professional point of view. Not because I'm not in California. I just think it would be a little selfish of me to look at it from that standpoint. What's really gonna suck for me is not typing out, doing those articles. There's a saying that I heard from somebody. It's very wise quote. It's like, can you tell me the difference? What is the opposite of love? Most people would say hate, right? Actually, it's apathy. Hate, you still have feelings for. Apathy, you're just indifferent. Right. I love what I do. I love coming here and doing shows like this. I love recording the shows. I love doing my transcripts. I'm apathetic to the field that I'm in. That's where my head is right now. That's how I feel. Honestly, I'm at the point where I just rather just actually start working in the actual wrestling industry and not part of the cesspool of corruption and politics and nonsense where you don't get paid for the content you dish out. You get paid on the level you are. So if I'm not doing daily video shows and typing out bullshit and copying and pasting from other people, I'm not getting paid big bucks. But when I'm doing genuine stuff, I gotta get tossed aside I'm on the bottom totem pole of the field of what I've been doing for the last 10 years. And I'm not gonna take the disrespect anymore. I'm apathetic to the field I'm in. I love wrestling. I love what I do. I take a lot of pride in, I'm very passionate for the stuff I do because I know how fucking good I am at this too. That's another thing too. I don't usually come in here and brag or act like I'm above anybody, but I know what I can offer to this field and just wrestling in general. And I think over time I've probably been too humble at times, and that's taken the best of me. So I'm keeping my head up. This whole process has been frustrating, but I'm not letting it get the best of me. I just can't do that because that's just gonna do me no favors, and I pride my mental health more than whatever money I'm getting from a job that doesn't care about what I do or what I offer to them. So I'm happy. I'm very proud of the stuff I've been able to accomplish, to the fact that I could pay my apartment by covering professional wrestling, but I'm apathetic to the nonsense and the stuff I have had to deal with for the last 10 years. It's not worth it. It's just not.
Right. I agree. It's, MVP always says, or he said this tweet, and I still, remember, nobody hates professional wrestling more than wrestling fans. So it's, the dirt sheets and I write for a dirt sheet. So like, I get it. But I'm not a journalist. I'm not I'm not in the industry like you are. This is just something I do for fun on the side, so I wouldn't even begin to know if I wanted to jump into this full time, where to start or anything like that. But yeah, man, just hang in there, buddy. You are very good at what you do. Your transcripts are great. You have a passion for this. You will be behind that desk one day. Just keep your head going, brother.
I love you. I appreciate that one. All right, last set of questions here. We're gonna go to Mike, as we usually do, down in Houston. By the way, shout out to Mike, man, new father. Saw the news on Instagram the other day. Very, very cool.
Awesome. Congratulations.
All right, let's start with this.
I wonder if he's going to the Final Four this weekend. The Final Four is in Houston this weekend. We'll have to see.
I wonder how salty people are with their brackets being busted left and right with these upsets and stuff.
This was an unbelievable tournament. Holy cow.
All right, let's start off with this. What up, just like the Usos, both guys can do it all. So you say me and you. But this is the absolute best tag team in the world, and it shows. We appreciate that, brother. Anyways, here's some questions for the Back Porch Goes Hollywood. I like that. I'm not going to exaggerate the importance of winning opening day in MLB, but that said, who takes the opening series, the White Sox or the Astros? Probably Astros. We always suck playing in Houston, so I'm probably going to go with the Astros. Let's take that one out of the way. Another White Sox question here. He says, also, the White Sox general manager came out saying that former superstar Jose Abreu going to Astros like Michael Jordan playing for the Washington Wizards. Is that seriously a fair comparison? Probably more fair comparison would be like Michael Jordan playing for the Pistons or the Celtics than the Wizards. But I needed to hear it there. It doesn't make a difference to me. Any bold predictions for your NL and AL teams reaching the World Series this year? I'm going to throw this out there. I don't know what's going on with this team, but I think the Blue Jays will make the playoffs this year.
Going north of the border.
Yes, I think Canada will get some love in the playoffs this year. So, Canada,
it's a good time there, eh?
Yes. I'm going to go with the Cubs making it to the playoffs as well. That's another bold prediction. So shout out to you, Sam.
Go Cubs, right. Go. Your favorite, Josh.
How about this question? Have you guys ever seen the Savannah Bananas? They're like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. So what's something goofy they could do while playing baseball? I never heard of that. You ever heard of that? Savannah?
I have.
Bananas?
Yeah. I've heard of them. I've never seen them, but I hear it's hilarious. But no, I've never seen it in person. I just heard about it recently.
Right.
But no, I'd like to go see it. I bet it'd be very entertaining.
I've never really seen the Harlem Globetrotters in person either, actually. So
same.
I know there's a lot of outlaw macho, a lot of crazy stuff out there for people's enjoyment. If people enjoy it, that's cool. How about this one? What's harder to figure out behind the scenes, Lamar Jackson and his injury/contract dispute with the Ravens, or Roxanne Perez and a bout with apparent anxiety? I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson because all this doesn't make sense. And I've been on the record saying this. I think he's overrated as a quarterback for him making much noise as he is over this situation. Get a fucking agent and get it over with. I'm so tired about this topic. It's just as annoying as Karen Rodgers. Will he or won't he go to the Jets like this Ross and Rachel shit from Friends? Like, just get on with it already. Can we keep it moving? Lamar Jackson is overrated. Like, we should not be hemming and hawing whether or not he's worth 2 first-round picks or $230 million. Just let him go out and be Cam Newton. That's what he is. As a thrower, as a quarterback, he's Cam Newton. That's what he is. Like, let's keep it going.
Cam Newton said he's trying to make a comeback.
Well, great. Just like I heard Buff Bagwell's making a comeback too. Let's go to the next one. Grayson Waller is doing cameo videos. Even did one for our friend B-Rob. By the way, happy belated birthday to B-Rob. I wanted to send a shout out his way. What was your saying towards him? about bees.
His honey sucks because what kind of a name is B Rob? Like he doesn't even make he doesn't even make good honey. I think his honey
Right.
sucks. And you know what happens to people whose honey sucks? You just made the list.
Great.
Another great moment.
If you had a cameo from Grayson Waller, who would you have him insult? That's a good question.
Ooh. Kenny Omega.
Brianna Alvarez. That would be
that
pick.
works too. Seltzer,
of course.
By the way, who gave Omega versus Vikingo 5 stars? He said that match was as good as, he said that match was as good as Punk Cena, as good as, it was better than Flair and Steamboat. It was better than, that's what he said by giving that match 5 stars.
Ridiculous. Where's the standards?
In his pockets is where it is. It's in his pocketbook. His checkbook is where his standards are.
His invoices from Tony Khan.
Correct.
Yeah. Also, you can add in David Dixon's span, if you will, as well. Next question. Speaking of shows, what ESPN show not named Get Up? Mike knows this.
Get Up is a fine show. You shut up, the both of you. Get Up is great. Great analysis. Mike Greenberg is very entertaining. You be quiet, all of you.
Coming up next on Get Up, more Cowboys talk. Yay.
No, that's first take.
Yeah, that's true. Let's get on here. Which show from ESPN that's been on for more than 5 years you can't believe is still going? That's a good question. 5
Honestly,
years.
probably PI.
That's a sports staple. That's a good pick. It's hard to say because there's a lot of them that are associated to the leagues that they cover too. So I can't say,
right.
Oh, you should that NFL Live it's been going on for too long, or NBA say that they're associated with that. Can we say the Max Kellerman this just in? So I'm surprised that hasn't been on
for 5 years.
Right.
Also, this just in is fine. You be quiet, Josh. Max Kellerman is terrific. You be quiet.
That show is mid.
I mean, I never watched it, so I don't know. But
people should watch Pat McAfee on the afternoons, not Max Kellerman. Let's go to the next question.
That's very true. I'll admit that. Yeah. Sad that McAfee won't be at WrestleMania this year.
I know.
Oh
well. If you could bring a singer or band back to perform in their prime, living or passed away, who would it be? For me, it's simple: Chester Bennington and Linkin Park. That's the easy pick for me too. But I'm probably gonna go either Michael Jackson or all the Beatles are back together.
I like both. I was thinking either of those two artists myself. So yeah, good choices on that one. I like that.
Hell, let's bring back a popular composer for old time's sake. Bring back Mozart, damn it. Let's see him do it live in person. Let's see him just pontificate beautiful art of music and strings.
I'd be all right with that. I'd be 100% okay with that. It'd be cool. It would be glorious.
Yes.
Man, I miss Bobby Roode. I hope he comes back sometime soon.
Bobby Roode is the man. Bob Roode.
Robert Roode.
I got the fortunate opportunity to perform a jazz festival at the Symphony Orchestra Hall downtown Chicago when I was in 8th grade, I think. Man, that venue was dope, man. Like being behind the scenes there, that was awesome, man. I miss playing classical music, pal. Let's go to the next question. Who is the most underrated actor and actress of your lifetime? Great question. Josh Radnor as Ted Mosby and Reese Witherspoon. Those are my picks.
I don't follow enough pop culture to really know these stuffs. One person that I always love seeing that I would love get more mainstream attention is Rami Malek. He played Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody, and he was also the bad guy in the last James Bond movie. So I think he's tremendous. So he's somebody I always love seeing. Actress, again, I don't follow pop culture enough to know. Charlotte Flair, she acts in movies. She acts in movies. How about Charlotte Flair?
That's a good point. I was gonna say Rachel McAdams too, but I've always had a soft spot for Rachel McAdams too, so that's just me.
By the way, did you see the WWE auditions for
yes.
Miz was like, "You want me to read a line from this? You need to read the line from the Marine 4, the Marine 5." It was great.
Did you see his musical thing that he did with Maurice?
No.
I think they put it on YouTube. He did like a musical number. It was pretty funny, actually. Much better than La Dinner Debo shit. But let's go to the next question here. Who could be a surprise contender to go deep in the NBA playoffs this year? I say the Kings, or surprise number 1 seed, the Denver Nuggets. I'm out of the loop with the NBA. I can't tell you.
Same. Denver is due. I know that. I don't know. I would say the Phoenix Suns if KD didn't get hurt, but if KD's okay, I'd say the Phoenix Suns, but who knows?
I'm going to go with the Kings because my sister lives in Sacramento, so I'll go with the Kings.
And the best part, Josh, about going in Sacramento is about an hour and a half when you leave
Sacramento. Yes. I'll be sure to come back when the Lakers beat the Kings in May. Oh, what a beautiful segment that was. Just pure heat. Which is the greatest surprise to you? Hall of Famer Stacy Keibler or Paige being deemed a WWE legend? I don't have an issue with both. I think both are deserving in its own right. Yeah, Paige's run got cut short due to the injuries she was suffering, but I really don't have an issue with either. I guess he has an issue with it, but I don't. It's okay. Let's go.
The only issue I have right now is the fact that Saraya is basically useless in AEW now, and she's just become a former shell of herself and is basically an embarrassment to her career.
Just like every other former WWE talent that goes there, but that's not
correct. Minus Christian Cage.
Correct. Which match gets more extreme and has the better spot? Finn Balor and Edge for the Hell in the Cell, or Johnny Gargano and Grayson Waller? I'm going to go with Balor and Edge. It seems like they're bringing back the original Hell in the Cell structure, which is pretty cool. I didn't really care for I didn't hate, but I didn't care for the red structure, but it's cool that they're bringing it back, and there's a longer story with Edge and Finn than there is with Grayson and Johnny, so I'm going to go with Edge and Balor. I'm really excited for that match.
I wouldn't mind. I didn't mind the fact that it was plastic because it's just safer for the performers and it still gets the point across.
Yeah.
So if they want to do a chain colored plastic Hell in the Cell, I'm okay with that because again it just keeps the performer safe. And if they want to cut holes in it, so that's like I'm all about performer safety, So if they want to do it that way, that was fine. But I get your point about the red cell being kind of weird.
You don't want forks to the head and hanging people by the ropes like Jon Moxley and Hangman Page,
or a pizza cutter like Nick Gage.
Oh god. AEW said to quote unquote make a run at WWE. So my question is, a run at what? 900,000 viewers, 35,000 in an 18,000 person arena, competing against 20 million in WWE advertising revenue for WrestleMania. Mike, you'll have to stay tuned for that because we're going to get into that article that you're mentioning. We'll talk about that in the main event. Next question. Did you watch AEW All Access last night? Apparently, after 12 minutes, one of the Young Bucks said, I don't want to answer that. So should the show be called AEW General Admission instead? What else would you rename the show? Oh, man. We can have fun with this one.
Yeah. Did you watch it, Josh?
I saw some clips on Twitter, but I did not watch the full episode.
So I sat through it. I watched all AEW All Access, and it was, I will say, it was better than I thought it was going to be. Like seeing some of the backstories of some of the wrestlers is cool, and like seeing some backstage stuff I thought was kind of cool. Like hearing Adam Cole's story and how he got hurt and all that stuff. So that was all cool. But what ruined it for me was seeing Tony Khan give himself the title of CEO, GM, and head of creative. That right there, like that tells us exactly what's wrong with AEW and with the wrestling business. Like he gave himself that title. He did. Like that's it. I didn't realize that they talked about Ty Mello. I didn't realize she started in judo and like came from Brazil. So that was cool, kind of seeing her story. She's become worthless now in AEW, but seeing that story was fine. Yeah, so it was better than I thought it was, but yeah, it's again they're also going to highlight everything about why that company is terrible. For example, the women's division. They highlight like Britt Baker says, like, I'm a champion for this women's division, but the fact that we have an interim title is a joke. And I'm like, yep.
Don't you notice there was a glaring omission for what I've seen so far, that there wasn't any sighting of Chris Jericho on this broadcast last night? You want the real AEW? If you want the real AEW All Access show, Chris Jericho in the production meetings.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
We don't want the truth, right? We don't want the Zoom calls with Meltzer and Alvarez with that too, right? Give you a break. All Access, my ass. There you go. That's the name of the title. AEW All Access, my ass.
Very good. I like it.
Next question. Josh mentioned this last week, but why are there like 19 factions in AEW? What is the point of that? So everybody could jizz each other off. I don't know.
Add booking.
Was there really that many factions in WCW towards the end? Like LWO, NWO, Wolfpack, the Filthy Animals. What was it? The New Bloods.
New Blood, the Millionaires Club.
Right.
Totally Buff.
Oh God. That's brutal.
I don't know.
Yeah, Mike, your guess is good as ours. We don't know at this point. I was telling Sam this the other day. It's like AEW's got to the point where it really takes a lot from myself and you to make sure that we make our segment more entertaining than the product that they give out each week. It's even a struggle for us, even for shows that are just like, there's really nothing to talk about for Dynamite because it's just Dynamite. We repeat ourselves over and over again. The same issues happen over and over again. Like, how can we make sure that this segment doesn't become stagnant? And we really try our best for you guys to make sure that's the best segment in all of wrestling podcasting.
Indeed.
Let's see what next here we got. I mentioned I love this tag team with Josh and Derek, but also enjoyed the thoughts of Jericho. Can we appreciate Brother Carter's delivery in that segment each week? Example, Penta took on Powerhouse Hobb. Don't care.
Well, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that very much. Glad to know that you're a fan of both What the Hell is Wrong with AEW and the Thoughts of Jericho. You're smarter now, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, live one. But appreciate that. But I mean, I just keep it real. Penta versus Powerhouse Hobbs. I don't care. Like, right. Your TNT champion was not on television last week. Like,
what else is new, right?
Going into AEW All Access, they talked about, or they're going to start talking about, Guevara had these 2 out of 3 falls match with Danielson.
Right.
And then he goes to Tony Khan and says, I wasn't booked on this next week's show. Why not?
Right.
So again, they're gonna expose their entire terrible model of running a wrestling promotion, and I can't wait.
The blind leading the blind. How about that for a show name? The blind leading the blind.
Correct.
Last question for the Q&A this week. Thank you, Mike, Sam, and Chris for the great questions this week. Mike says, here, I got it right here. Just 1 second. Damn you, Twitter. He says, my girl just had a baby named Deborah Kate, and I'm already torn about going back to work next week. How can I keep my sanity and work-life balance while losing sleep most nights? I can't speak on it. I'm not a father, so I can't really touch on it. Like I said last week to your questions, one day at a time, my man. That's the best you can control. One day at a time.
Just keep your eyes on the prize. It's every new father I've talked to has said the same thing. Like, it's tough until you get into a routine. And that first night when they sleep the entire night is like, oh my God, greatest night ever. So just keep your eyes on the prize and just... Yeah. That's all I would say is just, relish the fact that you brought something amazing into this world.
on that note, folks, that concludes our Back Porch Q&A session. As always, if you want to ask this question, all you have to hit us up at Twitter at the Hoots Podcast or the Hoots Podcast at gmail.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Not for the main event yet. It's time to talk about what happened this week in WWE. We're going to make our predictions. No! For NXT Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania. I'm going to take over the Stand and Deliver portion, and Brother Carter will take over the WrestleMania portion of this segment. So we're just going to go over our picks for both shows and then go from there before we get to our main event, what everybody's waiting for. Brother Carter, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I said,
Are you
ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready, Josh. Let's go.
All right, let's not disappoint people like the New York Knicks. All right, here we go. NXT Stand and Deliver from the... No, I'm not calling it that arena. I'm calling it the Staples Center. That's what it is, pal. Stand and Deliver taking place this Saturday morning. No, not morning. Actually, it's at noon Eastern. Right? Noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central Time, I believe. On Peacock on Saturday morning.
That sounds right, yes.
Yes, so 7 matches on the card. Let's start off with this, Brother Carter. We have an 8-person mixed tag team match with the winner will gain control of Andre Chase University. We have Andre Chase, Duke Hudson, Tia Hale, and Tyler Bate taking on the team of Schism, Joe Gacy, the Grizzled Young Veterans, and Ava, the Rock's daughter, making her in-ring debut in LA. Quite apropos, if you will. Who regains control of the finest university in all of sports entertainment?
Well, I'm going to say that Chase University will go back to where it belongs, and the team of whoever you said with excuse me, with Chase University. Excuse me. Come down with a bit of a cold there. But yes, I will say that the team of the faces are going to win that. Chase University is going to stay where it belongs.
Right, sir. Yes, Andre Chase for the win. Next one, yes. We have a lot of people on this card, by the way. There's a lot of multi-person matches on this show. We have a triple threat tag team match for the NXT tag team titles. Gallus boys be taking on the Creed brothers and the D'Angelo family. I'm going to go with the Creed brothers to become the tag team champions. How about you, Brother Carter?
Ooh, that's good. Yeah, usually a lot of times titles change hand this weekend, so I'll agree with you. I'll take the Creed brothers as well. I love Gallus, of course. I think they're tremendous, but I think this would be a good time for the Creed brothers to get their opportunity to show what they can do. So, yeah, do you think we'll see some division between D'Angelo and Channing Lorenzo?
Probably. Some dissension, if you will, with Stacks, as they call him, Stacks Lorenzo.
But, you know, I like the Creed brothers to win there.
How's the gabagool? All right, next question. This one may steal the weekend from a barn burner standpoint. We have a fatal 5-way match for the NXT North American Championship. It's Wesley taking on Dragon Lee, Jordan Devlin, Ilya Dragunov, and Axiom. This is going to be a barn burner of barn burners. Wesley's been a good champion so far. There's a lot of great choices you can go with. Personally, I would love to see Ilya Dragunov win, because I think that'd be a cool spot for repping the NXT UK guys. But I'm going to go with Dragon Lee to become your new North American champion. But this match would be insane. Anybody could win, and I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Right. I'm actually going to take Dragunov here. I think it's time for him to get his run. You know, obviously excited about Dragon Lee being in NXT right now. I think that's great for him, great for the company. But, you know, I think you want to build him up a little bit, maybe do a little feud with Wesley before you put the belt on him. So I'm taking Dragunov to be your new North American champion. And incredible. When has NXT put on a North American title ladder match that is disappointed?
That's a good question. And here's the charm. This one's not a ladder match this time. The ladies have the ladder match, which we'll be talking about next. Good transition there, Brother Carter. Let's see what you did there. It's for the NXT Women's Championship. Roxanne Perez putting her title on the line against Zoe Stark. What? Gigi Dolan. What? Tiffany Stratton. What? Laya Valkyria. What? And Indy Hartwell. We have the ladies getting the ladder treatment this time. Who you got, Brother Carter?
Ooh, this one's tough. My gut says to stick with Roxanne Perez because I think that they weren't going to take the title off of her until she was doing some injuries there. So this is just a way to kind of get her back into the fold. I don't think it's time for her to go up to the main roster yet. I think that she would get lost in the shuffle up there, particularly over on SmackDown if that's where they ended up putting her. So yeah. I'm going to take Roxanne Perez to actually retain and get back her NXT Women's Championship.
It's not a bad pick. I'm going to go with a new champion, though. I think Stand and Deliver is going to have more title changes than WrestleMania. So how about this one? Tiffany Stratton becomes your brand new NXT Women's Champion.
Wow.
That's my pick. Yes.
Wow.
And Zoe Stark will make her way up to Raw and SmackDown. Right. Next match, Fallon Henley and Kiana James taking on the team of Alba Fire, Kaylee Ray, and Isla Dawn for the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. A little odd feud, you got Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. They're in their like Hocus Pocus, Bray Wyatt universe type of characters, and then you got Fallon Henley and Kiana James are there at each other's necks because Kiana is screwing over Fallon Henley's friend, Brooke Jensen, basically cheating on the guy. Good waterfall. The guy's lusting over her, trying to win her over. The conflict of interest when you have friends and relationships at the same time. That's kind of the gist of the story here. I think it's pretty simple here. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn will get the titles from these ladies as well.
Well, that's interesting, Josh, because I don't think that's going to happen. I think that Fallon Henley and Kiana James are going to say because, and the reason that I say that is because of what we saw at the last pay-per-view, where they ended the winning streak of they beat Katana Carter. Am I saying that right?
Katana Chance, yeah.
Yeah, Katana Chance, and her partner there. Yeah. So, but the fact that they ended the longest reigning NXT Women's Tag Team Championship reign in history, you've got to have that mean something, I think, particularly on a WrestleMania weekend. So for that reason alone, there will be some kind of shenanigans. I'm not saying it's going to be a clean finish or that, that there still isn't going to be dissension between the champs, but I think that they can still find a way to sneak this one out. So I say that the champs retain here.
All right. Grayson Waller against Johnny Gargano in an unsanctioned match. I got Johnny Gargano winning this one.
Yeah, I'm going to take Gargano too. It just seems like weird that out of no... I mean, I get why they're doing an unsanctioned match because like Johnny Gargano is coming back to defend the honor of Shawn Michaels. I get that. And that's, his mentor and his protege, and that's cool. It just seemed like this was kind of rushed a little bit, I think. Kind of just... And we're all of a sudden going to throw in together an unsanctioned match. I think it's something they would want to build. Because you could do Johnny Gargano and Grayson Waller without a stipulation, and it would be amazing. So I think the fact that it's an unsanctioned match is kind of odd. But I'm with you. I'll take Gargano to win. And then we'll just have to see what they do with Grayson Waller after Stand and Deliver.
Grayson Waller with the Shane McMahon shimmy. Shane Meek Mahan. All right, Brett Carter. This is a match that a lot of people have been looking forward to. One I'm looking forward to. Braun Breaker putting his NXT Championship on the line against Carmelo Hayes. This is the main event of Stand and Deliver. What say you, Brother Carter? Does Braun Breaker lose 2 straight years in a row at Stand and Deliver? Interesting question.
Yes, he does. I have Carmelo Hayes getting the win and becoming the brand and new NXT champion. I think it's time for Carmelo Hayes to get his run. Again, we've talked about what else is there to do. Braun Breaker has pretty much done everything that he can do in NXT, and he's done it amazingly well. I see there's no more reason. There's nothing else he can do in NXT. He's ready to move up to the main roster. I think it's time. I've got Carmelo Hayes so he can get his opportunity to run to run the NXT show, and he deserves that opportunity. I've got a new champ here.
That, you know what? This is the show that's happening. 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 title matches, 5 title changes. I'm in agreement with you, brother Carter. Carmelo Hayes, your brand new NXT champion. Though I would like to see the reaction if Braun Breaker won, though. But that's just, yeah.
I'd still be fine. It's Braun Breaker hasn't done anything to not deserve that opportunity. So
that is correct.
All right, are we ready to transition?
Yes, we are.
All right, let's transition into the show of shows, the showcase of immortals. Everything that is great about pro wrestling culminates this weekend in the 2-night WrestleMania extravaganza. Looking forward to it. Last year's show, the 2-year show, was incredible. First year under the Triple H regime, and what a card do we have to celebrate this year. So let's get right into it. These aren't the match orders, but this is the order I'm reading in reverse order from WWE.com. So the first match is the feud, the underrated star of professional wrestling right now, Dominic Mysterio, who's spent some he spent some time in the, he was in prison, dude. Like he suffered some hard times. Like he was in the yard, man. And he is finally taking it to his deadbeat father, Rey Mysterio. I've got Dominic Mysterio winning this match. No reason for him to not get the victory here over Rey. Who do you have, Josh?
I got Dominic Mysterio as well. Rey will be giving him the beats and giving him a good spanking around SoFi Stadium, but low blow Jones, roll up, 1, 2, 3. I got Dominic Mysterio. And talk about one of the best heels, not just in WWE, but all of professional wrestling, getting booed out of that stadium.
100%. And that's going to be great. Next up is the men's WrestleMania showcase match.
Yes, sir.
4-way tag team match. Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy. Thank you! Versus the Viking Raiders. Who do you have in this one, Josh?
I have the Viking Raiders winning this one. I know the Babyfaces won on Raw or that 8-man tag, which is pretty good actually. But I'm gonna go with the Viking Raiders here. This is gonna be a spot fest. This is gonna be a fun match to watch. Probably like 7 or 8 minutes. Won't be too long, but this is gonna be a fun one. I'm gonna go with the Viking Raiders winning, and Otis joins officially the Maximum Male Models.
Indeed. I think that all that is going to happen as well. The only other possibility that could come out of that is a heel turn from one of the Street Profits. They finally had enough and decided to go their own separate ways. Could be another possible outcome. But I'm with you, Josh. I got the Viking Raiders winning. I think that's going to be a great match. Transitioning into the women's WrestleMania showcase match, you got the team of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus the team of Natalya and Shotzi versus Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. And I've got Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler winning here. I think that they have potential as a tag team. I'd like to see them go for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships at some point. I think that they could have a great match with Becky Lynch and Lita. That could be fun. So I've got Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler getting the win here.
No disagreement with me. I got Ronda and Shayna winning this one as well.
Great.
Sonya will tap out.
Yeah. Moving on. The Intercontinental Championship triple threat match. You have Dahing General Gunther along with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, in which is going to be an incredible match. I'm very excited about this. Who do you have in this one, Josh?
I got Gunther retaining here. He will break the Honky Tonk Man's record of longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. I'm just throwing it out there right now. This may be the match of the year, and I'm not joking. Like overall match of the year. I feel sorry for whoever has to follow this match. Hopefully, this match starts off night 2 of WrestleMania, set off that tone. This is gonna be a barn burner, so I'm gonna go with Gunther to retain. I can't wait for this match.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. It's good considering what they did at Clash of the Castle. was
not only that. Think about when they started the Rumble with Gunther and Sheamus, how the crowd was.
And for that reason, Josh, I'm going to take Sheamus to be your new Intercontinental Champion.
Wow.
I think he's going to get one more run as a title holder. He's finally going to get his moment after all these clashes with Gunther. He's finally going to overcome the hurdle. And I've got Sheamus as your new Intercontinental Champion, leading Gunther to perhaps bigger and better things going forward, specifically after the main event, which we'll get to here in just a little bit. But I've got Sheamus as your new Intercontinental Champion. Josh, the Demon is back. Finn Balor, with an entrance I've been wanting to see for 6 or 7 years since the Demon debuted in NXT, against Edge, who can channel all of his inner demonic self, the Brood, Rated RKO, all those things, all of his evil coming together inside Hell in a Cell. I've got Edge winning. No, sorry. I'm going Finn Balor. I'm going Finn Balor to win this thing. I think he's going to avenge his loss from the Demon character at when Roman Reigns took him down. You know, it's when Roman Reigns beat the Demon and everyone was like, "Oh my God, the world is over," but it wasn't,
right?
Because professional wrestling. But I've got Finn Balor avenging his loss as the Demon.
There's been a running narrative over the last couple weeks that only the bloodline angles are the only things hot going into WrestleMania this year, and I totally disagree with that, especially when it comes to this particular feud. Long-term storytelling at its finest, everything from Judgment Day turning on Edge to what happened at Clash of the Castle to Extreme Rules where Judgment Day sent sent Beth Phoenix to the gulags, sent her up to the upper room, to the Royal Rumble, to the Elimination Chamber. Edge gets his comeuppance, and this is a win-win for Finn. It really is. He does not need to win this match. I can see if Edge wants to give the honors to Finn Balor. I can see that as well. But I'm going with Edge here to win in the long-term story, and I can't wait for this match. This is going to be awesome.
You pretty much say that about this entire weekend, Josh. This card is completely stacked. The match we were talking about earlier, Brock Lesnar against Omos. Again, on paper, this looks like it's going to be, a match that's going to be like, oh God, here we go again. But as I've said before, Brock Lesnar pops everything he does. He knows how to make it terrific. I got Brock Lesnar winning here. I don't see any reason why he can't defeat Omos here, but I think this match is going to be a lot of fun.
Yep, Brock Lesnar wins. It's going to be the pop when he hits that F5 on Omos or German suplex is going to be insane. So that's the cliche. So cliche goes, make sure they reinforce that ring, pal.
Indeed. 6-woman tag match: Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch versus Damage Control. Who you got here?
Good question. I got Damage Control winning this one, and Trish will turn on Becky Lynch. Ding, 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 ding.
That's exactly what I think is going to happen. Trish will then eventually cost Becky and Lita the women's tag team titles at some point. But yes, that's exactly what I think is going to happen as well. This should be a fun match. Looking forward to it. For the Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair defending against Asuka. And Josh, this for me, this is the one I'm most like, I have no idea what's going to happen here. This could go either way. As the host, I will let you go first. Who you got in this one?
By the way, I want to give a shout out to those video packages for both Bianca and Asuka on Raw this past Monday. I thought that was very good. This is a tough one. It really is. It's one of those 50-50 flip a coin type of matches.
Coin flip, yep.
I know I've been picking a lot of heels recently, so I'm going to go a little different direction here. I'm going to go Bianca Belair to retain over Asuka. But this is one of those matches, Brother Carter, where I don't care who wins, and that's not a bad thing towards the story. But I was talking to this the other day with referee Tony. I know everybody's like, oh, what's the story of Bianca and Asuka? You know what the story is going to be? What's inside that 20 by 20 ring? That's the story that's going to be told. So I'm gonna go with Bianca, but I'm fine if Asuka wins as well. So I'm gonna go with the ES team.
And I'm going to go with Asuka to get her victory here with her new character and kind of reinventing herself a little bit. It's her return to prominence. But again, much like you, if Bianca retains, I'm totally cool with that too. No problems with that at all. Both of these women are absolutely fantastic. Yeah, what's the story? It's two great wrestlers having a great wrestling match. That's what that story is. Speaking of great wrestlers having a great wrestling match, the match that I think should close night one of WrestleMania for the undisputed tag team championships, the Usos defending against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn as a part of the best storyline in professional wrestling in the last 10 years. I think we have new champs. I think the reign of the bloodline is over. Night one begins the fall of the Roman Empire. And I've got Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens as your new tag team champions, ending the reign of the perhaps the greatest tag team in WWE history in the Usos.
I'm in agreement with you. I got Kevin and Sami winning, but Jay gives himself up towards the end of the match. Oh. Like, it's gonna be a grueling match, but instead of letting Jimmy take the final pinfall, Jay gives himself up. Like, Sami, no, let's say like Jay like stands in front of Jimmy and he's like, I'll take this. Sami, boom, Luva kick, stunner, bam, ba bam, ba bam. So I'm very interested to see how this is gonna go. I don't know if this is a match that's gonna end in a DQ or whatever. You know, outside the Hell in a Cell match, we really haven't found out any other matches that have like a no holds barred or anything attached to it. So we'll have to see how this plays out, but I'm agreeing. I do think Sami and Kevin make history and win in LA. So excited for
also,
that as well.
There will be a referee bump here. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, good thing for us, WWE has competent officiating. But let's continue on.
All right. For the SmackDown Women's Championship, the GOAT, undisputed despite what Twitter says, Charlotte Flair is the greatest female wrestler of all time. She has been for about 4 years now. Internet, if you don't like that, you can kiss my ass, because we speak truth here on the Hoots podcast. There is nobody better in history than Charlotte Flair, despite what the internet marks say about Mercedes money or whatever she wants to be going by now. I don't care what you think, you're wrong. Charlotte is the greatest of all time. She is defending against Rhea Ripley. That being said, I've got a new champ here. I think Rhea Ripley gets the job done. She completes her ascension to the top of what she's been doing over the year. I have got a new SmackDown Women's Champion in Rhea Ripley.
Same here. I got Rhea Ripley winning. Mommy brings it home. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Rhea.
Awesome. All right. Next up, a match that could steal the show this weekend, Josh. Seth Rollins against Logan Paul. Logan Paul is a natural-born WWE superstar. He's better than half the people on the roster. He's better than almost everybody in AEW. So yes. He does the buckshot lariat better than Hangman Adam Page.
How about that?
That's a shoot, pal. Who you got in this one, Josh?
I'm very excited for this one. There's been another misnomer out there that like, oh, Logan Paul, I don't know why he signed this contract if he's going to lose all the time. Actually, the only match he lost was to the Tribal Chief. He won the match with the Mysterios. I was there for that last year in Dallas, and then he beat Miz at SummerSlam. So actually, Logan doesn't have a losing record. He has a winning record. All that being said, this could be a barn burner. It's going to be such awesome to see Alvarez and Seltzer wins in agony when these two put on a barn burner of barn burners coming up on Saturday, because that's when the match is happening. So I'm going with Seth freaking Rollins to get his comeuppance on Logan Paul, and it's going to be beautiful. Whoa. Burn
Yeah. I echo everything that you say, Josh. You know, most times at WrestleMania, the faces tend to outwin the heels here. So I'm going to take Seth Rollins just to get the victory here and get his give Logan Paul his comeuppance. But again, when Logan Paul hits that amazing buckshot lariat and he's ripping off Hangman Adam Page, but he does it better. It will be just another further proof that that other company is biased and stuff. This is going to be incredible, Josh. I got Seth Rollins winning this too, and I think this is good. But don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Logan Paul gets a victory and can set something up.
You know what, Brett Carter? I got a surprise for you. How about this for a spot? A false finish, if you will. I don't know if you're going to like it or not. Think about it. Logan Paul, GTS to Seth Rollins.
I would love that, actually. As a big screw you to CM Punk. Also, don't be surprised if Jake Paul gets involved in this somehow as well.
Oh boy.
Not Just saying. Just saying. All right, we got two more to go here, Josh. The match that is going to open WrestleMania 39. Austin Theory, A-Town, down, defending the United States Championship against one of the greatest of all time. Some might say the greatest of all time. That's not me. I've got him at about number 5 on my list, but there's no doubt he is top 5 of all time. That is the returning John Cena. Who you got here?
This can be a roller coaster, and it's very ironic, Brett Carter. Nearly 20 years to the day, John Cena made his WrestleMania debut in the first match against Big Show. He's in the first match of this WrestleMania against Austin Theory. Brother Carter, I don't know about you, but this match is going to be a roller coaster of emotions. And I'm glad this one is starting off the show because it really does have that Hollywood vibe of telling stories, and how we're going to go through a lot of different emotions throughout this weekend of stuff going on in the show. But Austin Theory will put down John Cena. Austin Theory will retain and beat John Cena clean, and I'm going with Austin Theory. I won't be mad if John Cena wins, but to me, this screams Austin Theory all day, every day. So it is inedible.
It just doesn't make any sense for John Cena to win here, because if he's going to be gone for a while again, to me this is a WrestleMania moment for Cena. Everybody's happy to see him. With the show being 2 nights now, this is a great opportunity to bring some stars back, some legends back. So yeah, I'm with you, Josh. I've got Austin Theory winning clean as well, and this is the official coronation of. This is, Austin Theory being a main event player in WWE for a long time. Josh, it is time for the main event.
It's time.
It's time. Cody Rhodes challenging Roman Reigns, the best professional wrestler in the world, has been for about 5 years now. Yep, everybody put up your ones. Everybody put up your ones. When Cody Rhodes made his return last year to WrestleMania, it was one of the great moments of professional wrestling history. Let's cut it like it is. That was incredible to see Cody Rhodes leave, reinvent himself, and come back to the company that made him famous. His work over the last year has been incredible. The fact that he wrestled with a torn pectoral muscle, shows a lot about his heart, shows a lot about what he is willing to go through for this. This has been the greatest storyline over the last 3 years, has been the rise of the WWE Undisputed Champion, Roman Reigns. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. It's historic in every way, shape, or form. Josh, the conclusion of WrestleMania 39 will give us one of the greatest moments in WWE history. When the grandson of a plumber takes his rightful place, winning the title that his daddy never could, ending the reign of terror, destroying the Roman Empire, Cody Rhodes is your new WWE Undisputed Heavyweight Champion of the world in what will be an incredible match. I say this is going to go 30, 35 minutes. And it's going to be a moment that we are going to remember for the rest of our lives. I've got Cody Rhodes as your new WWE Undisputed Heavyweight Champion.
It's a great breakdown there, Dr. Rhodes. Great breakdown.
Thank you.
Look, man, this talk about a roller coaster of emotions and storytelling and everything in between. You're gonna get that and then some with this match. There's a lot of debates whether now is the right time or whatever for Roman to lose the championship. The bloodline angle can continue on without a championship. There's other layers to this family than just holding a championship. Sometimes the greatest villains have to take like a slap on the chin, like just a clean shot sometimes before they come back and get what they really want. When Thanos first showed up in the Avengers, he didn't destroy everybody that quickly. There was a process to it. I thought about this over and over again, and there's cases to make for Roman to retain, and I wouldn't be upset if that happened. I'll throw that out there. And I am wearing the hoodie. I'm all down with the bloodline and acknowledgement and tribal chief, all that. This is nothing against Roman. When I saw the performance that Cody did at Hell in a Cell in Chicago, I knew then this was the guy. Everybody's talking about who's the next babyface, who's the next guy to take the title off Roman. It's Cody Rhodes. You see it in how the facial expressions Roman gets each time these two have had a promo exchange. Make sure to check it out tomorrow night on SmackDown as we're recording this, as they have their final standoff. You have all the elements here that were not there in Clash of the Castle. This is why I believe Cody Rhodes is going to win. When you're in Clash of the Castle, the wise man was not there, and we had the introduction of Solo. I wanted Drew to win just as much as anybody. I thought it would be a great moment, right? But think about it now. You have the wise man there. Solo will be there as well. I'm sure we're going to have the shenanigans with the Usos. Like you said, the Empire is going to fall down, right? It's time. Cody Rhodes will become the undisputed Universal Champion. And I know a lot of people are going to overanalyze this match, and that comes with the territory. But this is one of those moments where I want to just sit back and enjoy the match as it's happening and not overthink it while it's going on. Let these two tell the story, and what comes out of it will probably make sense for everybody at that time. But I am going with Cody Rhodes as your brand new undisputed Universal Champion.
What a weekend it's going to be, Josh. Everybody be sure that you check out the 2 nights of WrestleMania. Also check out NXT Stand and Deliver. We get a lot of great wrestling action starting this Saturday, and I can't wait for it. But Josh, do you know what time it is now?
Oh, I think we do. Yes.
It's time for us to transition to this segment. Let's face it, it's WrestleMania weekend. That's exciting. We love WrestleMania weekend. It's going to be a great wrestling weekend. It's going to be terrific. But let's face it, you are listening to this podcast right now for one reason and one reason only. It's the main event segment. It's the flagship segment. It's the segment where we tell the world like it is as we ask just one burning question. What the hell is wrong with AEW? We're going to start this bad boy off in a 3, a 2, a 1.
Beat your meat. 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 Beat your meat.
I'm telling you, my time is right now. Right this minute, 2022. We're living in my time is now. My time is right goddamn now.
Man, what intensity.
It's time for What the Hell is Wrong with AEW? Where to start? Yes, Josh, it is time to ask the burning question, as we ask every single week. What the hell is wrong with AEW, a.k.a. what isn't? wrong with AEW. Josh, do you want to start with the article or do you want to start with Dynamite? Where do you believe that we should begin this week?
Let's start off with the brutal show that we had to watch on TNT, on TBS last night, actually.
All right. Well, let's get into this then, and I'll I'll tell you. Let's start about a couple of things that I did enjoy, and then we'll just start getting into the crap because oh boy, was there a lot of crap. Okay, so just a few things that I did enjoy, and then you can respond, yay or nay, either way. Add some things that you did. Another great MJF promo. It's clear that nobody in the company can talk on MJF's level. Jungle Boy has just severely outmatched here in every way, shape, or form. But another great promo. I love the fact that he said Marco stunted growth and Dino douche. That was great. Great stuff from MJF. That was great. So that was good. I'm not saying that this is something I enjoyed, but I will say that this is a step up. We're moving in the right direction. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I watched a Kenny Omega match that I wasn't offended by. I wasn't offended by this. This actually was okay.
We're making progress.
Yeah, and I don't know who the hell Jeff Cobb is. I don't know if he's good or not. I really have no idea. But he's good. Okay, but I have to say, Josh, I wasn't offended by the match itself. Now, as soon as the bell rang and it was over, then it all went downhill after that, and we'll get to that here in just a little bit. But this match didn't offend me. I actually thought that the Guns cut a nice promo backstage. I liked their promo. But the fact that they're giving away this match on free TV with FTR tells you everything you need to know about Tony Khan's business strategy. And, of course, great to see Adam Cole back. His match with Garcia was His match was fine, I guess. Cole looks good. He just looks thin, man. He just looks like he's lost a lot of weight. So those are the things I enjoyed from the show last night. Is there anything that you'd like to add, Josh, or anything that I missed?
Let's see what else. Believe it or not, I actually liked the Gun Club promo backstage. I thought that was pretty good. Outside of that, I enjoyed the Olivier Jeff Cobb match, but there's always this rabbit hole that we get into when it comes to AEW, and especially when it comes to Dynamite. It's like we're very lucky if we find 2 or 3 good things that happen on this broadcast. And hey, man, you know what it is, Brother Carter? That's AEW for you, right?
Okay.
Especially, I had to give a shout out to MGF for saying stunted growth and Dino douche in the promo off with Jungle Boy. I gotta say this: doesn't Jungle Boy come off with the vibe of the character that Heath Ledger played in? What's the name of that movie? How Much I Hate You, or whatever. Hold up, let me look for it. It's a late '90s movie. Man, just give me 1 second, guys. I know this is bad video.
That's right. This will allow us to make a trip. Oh, go.
I got it. 10. I just had it right here. What's going on? There you go. 10 things I hate about you. Character. If you go watch that movie, 10 Things I Hate About You with Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles, that's Jungle Boy. That's how he comes off to me as a promo guy. But
speaking of Jungle Boy, Josh, let's transition into the shit because boy, was there a lot of shit. Okay. So we start off with Jungle Boy versus the Running Limp Man, otherwise known as Matt Hardy. And, the match itself was fine, I guess, but the interference with Ethan Page and Hook makes absolutely no sense. It completely derailed this whole thing. What are they doing with Hook? So, he's feuding with Stokely Hathaway. Now that's done. Now he's back with Jungle Boy. Are they going to do Jungle Hook again? What are they doing with all of this? This makes no sense.
This was the beginning of one of the worst showcases of officiating I've ever seen in my life in one collective episode. Aubrey Edwards, there's not any eye treatment, eye care, anything that can fix you and how incompetent you are at your job. VR goggles can't help you. 3D goggles can't help you. Nothing. I don't even think you could be blind, like really blind, and that wouldn't help either. You are so bad at your job. It offends me how incompetent she is at her job. I just gotta call a spade. She sucks. Aubrey Edwards, you are the drizzling shits. You are better off doing officiating at GCW or CZW or at any other godforsaken mud show out there, because you are an incompetent official. Tell me again, Brother Carter, how you're allowed to jump on the apron 8 times during the match and not be ejected from ringside. Not only that, other matches on the show. What was it? It was the Ruby Soho and Willie Nightingale match where you see Tony Storm helping right in front of Aubrey's eyes. I've seen this. It's on camera. The referee's making the count this way, and Tony's in that direction, right in front of her. 1, 2, 3. You see the cheating right in front of you. Nothing.
Right.
And then you go to what was that other match? Where the referee got shoved. I'm trying to remember. Pockets in the Butcher.
Yes.
Pockets in the Butcher. Same shit. The referee gets shoved. That's not a DQ. We got sloppy brawls at ringside. Nobody's ejected from ringside. Tell me again how this is sports-based wrestling when none of the officials matter and they all suck.
Correct. It just referee Tony is probably losing his mind right now. It's unbelievable. Okay. So, Josh, we hinted at this earlier, but can you explain something to me, please?
Yes.
Why are the Jericho Appreciation Society and the Acclaimed hanging out in Las Vegas? Why?
Oh, God. the Chris Jericho show, that's why.
Oh, God. This was stupid. Oh, God. Speaking of stupid, we get a backstage promo with Hangman Page and Don Callis, who then gets attacked. And apparently Don Callis actually got hurt in this. Like, they literally hurt him, which, again, no safety protocols in AEW, because why would you do that?
Yeah.
This was
so stupid.
Okay. So then we get to the Olivier and Jeff Cobb match, which, again, actually was a fine match. Didn't mind it. Here comes the BCC.
Uh-huh.
And they surround the ringside.
The core?
Ready to take down Kenny Omega. Who comes to save the day, Josh? The returning Karen Danielson is back. We get a tease. Maybe Danielson's seen the error of his ways after his feud with MJF. Maybe. Helps Omega up. And then we get one of the worst heel turns in recent memory. Omega goes after Wheeler Yuta, so you know the swerve is coming. Then as soon as he does that, Danielson goes, oh yeah, I should probably get into my heel turn mode now. The crowd goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then Danielson goes to turn heel. Like, I was looking at this like, what the hell?
Not only that, Bret Hart, think about this. He just came out the heels of this Iron Man match, and he cuts this crybaby promo where he's like, I gotta go home. I don't know what about this. And he comes back for this shit? Ladies and gentlemen, here's your consolation prize for the CM Punk drama last week after we recorded this show where he did the Instagram post. You're not getting Punk and FTR against the Elite. You're getting the Elite against House of Torture, a.k.a. the Core 2.0. What in the blue fuck is this shit? Wow, great. Olivier, who's a heel, against Karen Danielson as a heel. Who am I supposed to cheer for? I'm on pins and needles to see Wheeler Useless against Brandon Cutlet and Michael Knock it the fuck off. I'm on pins and needles for that. Just top tier restaurant quality stuff. Like, look, the BCC are, what do you mean, Josh? They're great heels. They got Jon Moxley. They got Claudio. What do you mean they're not a good faction? Look at the screen. It's brutal. It sucks.
Right. I have no desire to see this at all.
All that crybaby bullshit about, I gotta go home and make sure I'm good with my kids and I'm taking care of my health. No explanation, just a random ass heel turn. Booker of the year. Go ahead.
Speaking of Booker of the year, why does Butcher deserve a title opportunity all of a sudden when he hasn't been relevant on television in 3 years? This makes no sense to me. Okay, so Orange Cassidy, a.k.a. Pockets, wrestles every week. I know you're not a fan of him, and I'm really not a fan of his gimmick. But AEW's best talents are just used randomly. Meanwhile, the company mascot gets to be on television every single week. Can you explain this one to me?
Yes, I can. Tony Khan is incompetent at his job. That's the reason.
I will say, though, Josh, the pyro that he gets was actually kind of funny. Just like the one little fire and the small little firework. That's actually kind of funny. I don't mind that. That's actually...
I probably answered my own question here, but explain to me why Pockets needs to defeat every big, tall wrestler on the AEW roster.
What else are they going to do?
Exactly.
Okay. Best friends are terrible, and this match was absolutely lame. Speaking of lame, Josh, again, I know you and I haven't had a chance to talk about this since I haven't been live, but Josh, I'm going to say it. Jade Cargill sucks. She's awful. And I've had enough of her, and she needs to go home and stay home. I've had enough. I can't stand her anymore. Her promos are awful. Smart Mark Sterling is a waste of time. The baddies are a waste of time. Her in-ring stuff is, a bad version of Goldberg when he was doing his undefeated streak. Jade Cargill sucks. She's terrible. I've had enough of her.
It's unfortunate because she has star written all over her, and they're just wasting her time there, to be honest with you.
Yep. But there's, again, Josh, your Booker of the Year. Oh, I put this too. So Riho gets a title match, right? For the AEW women. Riho gets a match for the AEW Women's Championship, but a 53-0 Jade Cargill does not. Booker of the Year, pal.
Exactly. Oh, man. What else is there?
Last thing, real quick, and then we'll get the last two things. Josh, Willow Nightingale is terrible. I don't get her at all. And then we get the Outcasts, who I feel are the Kip Sabian, particularly Toni Storm, is the Kip Sabian of women's wrestling, in that she is, as you say, Josh, I initially said Times New Roman font, but you made a good point in that what? What is your rebuttal to me saying she's Times New Roman font?
I think that's an insult to Times New Roman font, the concept of Times New Roman font. But I compare Toni Storm to drywall. That is what I compare her. There's nothing there. Got a fine ass. Waterfall must be fine, but outside that, all we know is that she's a head case, and it's fitting that her and Juice Robinson are together. That's pretty the gist of it.
Indeed. So yeah, this match was fine, and once again, it's for the right before the main event, and it was boring, just like this entire feud. And then to close it out, Josh, we had Adam Cole's return against Daniel Garcia, which again, Adam Cole looked fine. Why he's being paired with Daniel Garcia, I have no idea. And my worst fears of this whole story have come true, Josh. Yep. It looks like we are getting Adam Cole versus the Ocho, probably at Double or Nothing.
The Chris Jericho Show, baby! Come on, baby! God forbid something hot and interesting comes into AEW. But guess who needs to step in? Anytime somebody gets momentum, let's swoop in Jericho. Ricky starts getting momentum, let's bring in Chris Jericho. Eddie Kingston's getting pops for the crowd. Let's bring in Chris Jericho to drag him down. Adam Cole's back from injury. Let's bring back fucking Axl Rose. Bring him in.
They did it with MJF, with Le Debonair.
Yep. I feel bad for Jungle Boy once his feud with MJF is over, because that's
probably next. Jericho, yeah. God, this was.
He's such a lead. He's such a clout chaser. It's not even close.
Anything else you want to say about Dynamite this week, Josh?
AEW Dynamite is the drizzling shits. I actually feel bad for people who shitted on WCW in the early 2000s.
Do you want to give us the Rampage preview for this week?
Yes, it's time for our weekly Excrement impression. Not only you get one preview, you get two previews. All right, let's do this. Coming to you live on TNT on Friday night. It's a new edition of AEW Rampage. Starting things off, we got Sammy Guevara taking on Kanose Takeshita. From there, we got Ty and Valkyrie taking on The Problem, Marina Shafir. In tag team action, we have the Best Friends taking on the Kings of the Black Throne of the House of Black. And our main event is Juice Robinson taking on Action Andretti. Then that's not only action there. Coming up this Friday on pay-per-view, it's Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor. It's the Reach to the Sky ladder match for the vacant Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. It's the Lucha Brothers taking on Top Flight, The Kingdom, Aussie Open, and La Facción Innombrable, Rush and Jalisco. And there we have the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team Championships on the line. It's the Embassy taking on AR Fox, Blake Christian, and Metalik. And our following contest here for the Ring of Honor World Television Championship is the champion Samoa Joe taking on Mark Briscoe. We have Athena putting her Ring of Honor Women's World Championship on against Yuka Sakasaki. It's a pure wrestling rules match for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. It's Wheeler Useless taking on Katsuyori Shibata from New Japan Pro Wrestling. In an international matchup for the AAA Mega Championship, it's El Hijo del Valgingo taking on Commander. And that's a match that was announced following last night's edition of Dynamite. It's Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on the JS's Daniel Garcia. And our main event for the Ring of Honor World Championship, it's Claudio Castagnoli putting his Ring of Honor World Champion. Do you guys still remember he's the Ring of Honor World Champion? He's putting in that title on the line against Eddie Kingston. More matches being announced. Make sure to check it out on Tony Khan on Twitter. Get all your tickets right now at AWTIX.com and ROHTIX.com.
Bravo. 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 Oh, my God. I had no idea ROH was doing a pay-per-view this weekend until Dynamite.
Did any of the matches I mentioned there entice you to check it out coming up this weekend?
There's one. And that's Samoa Joe versus Mark Briscoe. I think that could actually be a good match.
Yeah, that should be a barn burner. That should be pretty good.
But other than that, like, why does Eddie Kingston get an ROH world title shot?
That's a good question.
I don't know. Okay. Josh,
the struggle is real.
Indeed. You sent an article to me that I know you wanted to talk about here that was produced by a publication. So I will let you have the opportunity to do that there, to share this article with all of us.
In the goal of making What the Hell's Wrong with AEW fresh and entertaining, sometimes things pop into our direction that we least expect. Sometimes as we say, AEW writes this segment for us. But AEW Digital this time wrote this segment for us, and we're going to cap it off with some snippets of the article that was posted by the LA Times yesterday with the riveting title here. Can't believe I'm reading this. AEW, the first promotion to challenge WWE in 2 decades, is ready to make a run. Brother Carter, should I screenshot this so we can take a look at this together?
I've got it actually pulled up right here. But if you want to share it up for our YouTube viewers, you are more than welcome to do so.
All right, let's do that. Let's entertain the masses here, shall we? All right, let's take a look at this. Okay, here we go. You see TK there? Los Angeles Times. I'm not making this up. Unlike the Observer, we actually have some context to the stuff we talk about on here. Okay, let's get to the part where it's really interesting here. Let's start off right over here. Enter AEW and its founder, Tony Khan, a lifelong wrestling fan with deep understanding of the business and disarming memory for its history. AEW was able to appeal to WWE's fans disillusioned by the company's product, along with fans of smaller wrestling promotions such as Ring of Honor, later purchased by Khan and running its annual Super Card of Honor event this Friday at the Galen Center, the home of the USC Trojans basketball team. And international wrestling promotions such as New Japan Pro Wrestling, AEW also benefited greatly from wrestlers' interest in the project, as it was able to sign a host of extremely talented grapplers who have been major WWE stars, such as Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson, and Bret Carter's favorite, CM Punk. With that being said, with a pent-up demand for an alternative to WWE and a supremely talented roster, the first few years of AEW presented one success after another. AEW's quarterly pay-per-view events equaled or increased their year-over-year buys every time for over 2 years. Its flagship Dynamite show became consistently one of the top-rated cable shows on Wednesday night, with a strong following in the coveted 18 to 49 demographic. As WWE's signature Raw program continued to decline in the key demo, insiders, this is a great part here, as WWE's signature Raw program continued to decline in the key demo, insiders started to predict that Dynamite might eventually surpass Raw as a top-rated cable wrestling program. Critically, the promotion was celebrated for the high standard of its in-ring presentation. More than anything else, AEW is defined by the high quality of its matches. The other key strength AEW possesses relative to WWE is the sense that more of its performers are speaking in their authentic voices. Let's hear some quotes here from TK. What's great about AEW is you hear the wrestlers speak in their own words, and I'm not trying to force words into their mouths, Khan said. I don't write word-for-word scripts for anybody, and we have the best talkers in pro wrestling. Repeat, I don't write word-for-word scripts for anybody, and we have the best talkers in pro wrestling.
Wow.
The floor is yours.
Okay. On one hand, I get you have to promote your product, and I get you have to say that we're the best, and I get that you say that that we've got it, we've got the best, we're the alternative, blah 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 blah. I get you have to say that, fine. I actually don't have a problem with that, because that's just being a business person. But then, Josh, you actually have to put on a product. And that to me is like, you can talk your product up and you can bang your chest all you want of how great it is, and that's fine. And let's face it, there will always be some people who are AEW diehards strictly for the fact that it's not WWE. That's it. That's the only reason they tune into AEW. Facts. Is because it's not WWE, right? But all you got to do, okay, watch a Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes promo, and then watch MJF Jungle Boy? Is that your top promo? Like, is that the comparison of the two companies right there? Right? And then, okay, then let's go one layer deeper. Okay? One layer deeper than that. Fine. So you've got the MJF stuff, which is pretty good, right?
Yes.
What's your second storyline? What's your second storyline, and what's your second top storyline? The Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club? Is that your second storyline?
Yes.
Watch that segment. Watch a Judgment Day with Dominic Mysterio segment. Like, it's not. There's no comparison.
Watch the Usos and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Yes. And then watch the second tier storyline, which is the Elite. I don't know. All a sane person has to do, Josh, is watch the product.
What about the quote that I read in there that insiders predicted that Dynamite was going to outdraw Raw in ratings?
Yeah. Who are the insiders? Probably Seltzer, Alvarez, the people that are on TK's payroll.
Bixen Span.
Josh, I now see why you're getting disillusioned with the professional wrestling industry.
Not only that, think about the title. AEW is ready to... let me read this again. Bunch of bullshit. Let's look at this. AEW is ready to challenge the first promotion to challenge WWE 2Ks and is ready to make a run. Make a run at what? Be a GCW knockoff with television and money? What are we making a run at?
I don't know.
Brother Carter, this article is written by Mr. Todd Martin. Is there anything you'd like to tell Mr. Todd Martin on this day from the LA Times?
Watch the product. It's clear that it's clear that I that's all I'm going to say, Josh, because I all you have to say here is you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. But all I would say is just watch the product. You clearly have not watched the product. Just watch the product. That's all I'm going to say.
There's also alternative options we could go here. Alternative routes, if you will. We have some fun gimmicks.
Josh, you know what happens to people?
Oh no. Yes.
You know what happens to people who write false articles and who do terrible things in professional wrestling?
Do they get reprimanded?
Do you know what happens to people who clearly don't do their homework and clearly do not, they clearly have no sense of journalism and anything at all. Do you know what happens to those people?
Yes, I do.
You know what happens to those people who try to claim that they write for credible newspapers like the LA Times? So Mr. Todd Martin, Todd Martin, that's like the most generic name possible. That's like being named Jones Smith. Todd Martin, yay, why don't you call yourself Chris Smith or John James or whatever.
Or Christopher Bryan, the guy with two first names. Keep going.
Will Moore, the man with two first names or whatever. Todd Martin, for your inept ability, and I'm keeping it low here because I'm feeling kind of sick and I've got, the thing that's but Mr. Todd Martin, for your attempt to try to just delusion the entire wrestling fan base, you, sir, are what is wrong with professional wrestling, and you, sir, just made the list.
Yes. Oh, beautiful. We have the return of the list of Jericho, and what the hell is wrong with AEW? Brother Carter, let's play this jingle and get the hell out of here.
This has been What the Hell is Wrong with AEW.
Everything.
There you go.
Oh my God, beautiful. What a way to wrap up this special, this WrestleMania preview special. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with us each and every single week here on the Hoots Podcast. It's available anywhere you get your podcasts from. Just type in Hoots Podcast and make sure to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Hoots Podcast as well. Make sure to follow Brother Carter at Twitter at Derek Stoughton. He's also at Instagram at Jericho06. That's a Jericho with the D. Also, make sure to check out his. Go ahead.
Bringing credibility back to that name.
Yes, absolutely. More importantly, make sure to check out his work at DerekStoughton.com. Also, he does great work at WrestlingRumors.net as well. You can follow me on Twitter at the Hoots Podcast. All I ask for you guys to do is support the pod. That's all I can plug here. You can want to hit me up on Instagram. You can at Josh Lopez Media or Josh Lopez Music. And I've been uploading some new guitar covers and stuff for the last couple of weeks and stuff, so it's been a lot of fun. But remember, folks, be the authentic product that is yourself. Remember, nobody dictates the pace of your life but yourself and the man upstairs. Brother Carter, Dr. Royalty, thank you for blessing us with the presence of Jericho. How's my performance evaluation? No.
Josh, as usual, you get an A on your performance evaluation. I would have given you an A+, but you had a horrible take with Nia Jax and Dan Claude. So otherwise, I would have given you an A+. You had clearly had a horrible take on that, but I'll forgive you for that. But other than that, great job.
I appreciate that. For Brother Carter, I'm Joshie. This has been episode 354 of the Hoots Podcast. Make sure to enjoy Stand and Deliver, and both nights of WrestleMania will be here next week to recap all the events of WrestleMania. For Brother Carter, I'm Joshie. We'll talk to y'all next week. Yes, sir.